My name is Jaylani Keys. I am a sophomore, and my major is American Sign Language.
Savannah Kloseski. I'm a sophomore here at Clemson, and my major is American Sign Language.
My name is Chance Barber. I'm a sophomore wildlife and fisheries biology major.
Mackenzie Carter. I'm a construction science and management major and minor in athletic leadership, and I'm a sophomore.
My name is Victoria Vork, and I am a sophomore nursing major.
Hi, my name is Gino Marcelli. I'm a junior and I'm a bioengineering major.
Someone that learns at a slower rate than their peers.
I mean, I guess it depends, like, what you think. If you're part of the government or, our system, I think we would consider students with a disability is someone who needs accommodations for something. So
a student with a disability is any student with some condition that might impair them beyond that of a normal student.
A student with a disability is anybody in a classroom who has like a predisposition to having like a difficult time in class.
A student with a disability is someone who requires special conditions or attention in particular circumstances because they have some kind of disease or physical or mental condition. For example, I'm a type 1 diabetic, so when my blood sugars are doing something crazy, I have to be allowed to take my tests or quizzes or whatever until I get my blood sugars under control.
Yes, I believe that the lower income schools have worse programs, worse teachers, and then the kids do worse, and then they're inappropriately placed into special education classes based on that.
no, I don't think so. I think each student is accurately assessed individually. I mean, I don't think they would make that kind of mistake.
I think so, because usually in more impoverished areas, you have less focus on education because it goes to other things. So I think that a lot of people probably end up getting a bum rap from the beginning.
I would say that students that deal with poverty would be, I guess, more prone to being placed into those classes just because maybe not having money would set them apart from other students in a certain way and maybe make them feel alienated. So
I just think they're poorly placed due to probably the local school that they're going into due to poor funding and stuff like that.
As awful as it sounds, I think that schools believe that because these students come from poor families that they're going to require more attention, and that if a teacher's spending more time with this student from a lower income family, that it'll hinder the learning ability of the normal classroom, so they think it's easier to just stick them in a special education classroom.
I have one friend who is placed in special education classes, but it has really helped him a lot. It hasn't hindered him.
I don't personally know anybody with a disability who is hindered by placement in school.
I do know someone that probably should have been put in a class, like with special education, but I don't think they were because you could tell that they were affected by poverty, I guess, and rather than think that they were just actually handicapped, they, I guess, just assumed that maybe they just didn't fit in because of that.
No, I do not.
I remember in elementary school there was a student who I think he was in a resource program, so like half the day he was in a special education classroom, the other half he was, with, I guess, the general education students. But I remember he used to get really freaked out and have to be taken out of class every day, and so I wonder if maybe he would have wished he was in a more restrictive environment. I think he felt really intimidated and kind of scared in there. I think as much as possible, as much as they can handle, or as much as they would improve from. I think students with disabilities should be with general education students just to bridge the gap between, I guess kids who would consider themselves different, to integrate them as much as possible with other kids who can still be their friend just because they may have a disability.
I think everybody deserves a chance to have either option, because it might work perfectly fine for some, and it might be really detrimental to others to go ahead and pre-place them without their opinion.
I believe that sometimes, maybe if it was misdiagnosed, definitely.
No, I do not, because like I said, they learn at a slower rate than their peers. So the higher level up they get towards like high school, they'll be hindering their peers around them that are moving at a faster rate. So they should be put in a classroom where they can all learn at quote unquote at the same rate.
I think that the issue of teaching students with a disability in a mainstream classroom is really touchy just because there is such a wide array of what is considered a disability. Like being a type 1 diabetic, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to take me out of a mainstream classroom where I'm perfectly fine on most days and stick me somewhere else because I might have a weird blood sugar like once a month. Whereas a student who consistently has a hard time in a certain area because of something that they have would definitely require one-on-one attention with a teacher who is better equipped to deal with that than a teacher who just, teaches 30 students, whatever, and doesn't expect them to have a problem with it.
I definitely would say that, because if you label a child and you go ahead and tell them throughout their entire education process that they're disabled and they're not going to do as well, then they probably won't do as well.
I mean, identifying that they may need an accommodation, no, but the word disability, I think a kid hear that and he might hear disability, no ability, like not able, and I think that could be really painful to grow up with.
I think it would have a minor impact on their ability to succeed, but no matter what you label them, labeling them as whatever or putting them in separate classes, it's gonna have the same effect no matter what.
No, I do not, because at the end of the day, it's still up to that child to put a mindset in that they want to succeed in life and they can do anything they want to, regardless of what disability.
Some cases, I think that it would negatively impact their ability to succeed just because of you're giving that label to them and telling them that that's their standard. But on the other hand, there are also students that definitely should be classified as disabled because they would need that extra help to be able to succeed.